Hello and welcome to the Evercade Retreat. Gene Joke here, and today I'm adding Radar Lock for the Atari 2600 to my ever-growing list where I rank every game on the Evercade ever. Radar Lock can be found on the Atari Collection 2. It was originally released in 1989 for the Atari 2600. Yeah, 1989. It was a very late game. I mean, at that point you could buy a Sega Master System, a Nintendo NES, an Amiga, a Sega Mega Drive, lots of systems that were considerably more powerful. Hell, even Atari had released more powerful systems, the 5200 and the 7800 by then. But anyway, it's a late era 2600 game, and as a result of being a late era game, it meant the developers had more time to really get to know the ins and outs of the hardware and get the most out of it. And I'd say this game does a pretty good job of that. Radar Lock is an afterburner clone for the 2600, and it's surprisingly fast and smooth considering the hardware was over 10 years old at that point. I'd actually go as far as to say that it runs more smoothly than many similar games you would find on newer, more powerful systems at the time. Not all of the games on those systems, but yeah, it shows a lot for the coding skills of the developers. They managed to get it running this smooth when many developers couldn't do that on much more powerful hardware. I mean, yes, it looks basic, the single colour main sprite and the gradient coloured enemies, the pretty much just horizon line for the background. But it really doesn't matter, you can tell what's going on, and like I said, it moves really well. The sound effects are pretty effective. I mean, again, 2600 wasn't known for its amazing sound, but it certainly does the job here. But there was a downside to, I suppose, making an ambitious game for the 2600, is that on original hardware, which used single button joysticks, making a game where you'd have multiple weapons you'd want to choose on the fly, well, it was awkward, and they elected to have a 2 joystick system, where you'd use one for flying your plane and shooting, and the second one for selecting your weapons. And by all accounts it was very cumbersome and awkward and didn't really work very well. Of course, on the Evercade we don't have that problem, because all those controls can be assigned to buttons. Go Evercade. Anyway, about the gameplay itself, I mean, yeah, it's a very much an afterburner-like. You fly your fighter pilot, you shoot down other fighter planes and things. Every so often you have to refuel and line up with the tanker to refuel. The first few levels you don't really need to change your weapons, but further in it does become a bit of a requirement, switching between your guns, your guided missiles and proximity missiles. Again, it's nothing particularly deep or complex, but it's fast, frantic fun. Really much more so than you would expect. At the same time, it's no afterburner. It's an excellent technical showcase of what the 2600 was capable, with its fast moving, sprite flicker free sprites, the attempt at perspective and the scaling bullets. But ultimately, how impressed are most people going to be by a technically impressive game for the 2600? I mean, I am, looking at it and having played other games with it. You compare it to something like Adventure or Sword Quest Earthworld or Centipede. I mean, they all look extremely primitive in comparison to Radar Lock, and it's hard to believe that they're running on the same hardware. But ultimately, I suspect most people would rather play this sort of game on a more powerful system, and probably one that has in-game music. Some kind of cheesy hard rock to relive your Top Gun fantasies. So ultimately, while it is impressive, it still falls foul of showing its age. But if you can look past the simplistic graphics and the lack of music, there's definitely some fun to be had with this one. So to place it on my ever-growing list where I rank every Evercade game ever, I would have to place it above Pinball for the Intellivision, but below Buggy, which actually surprises me how high it is. But playing it again for this review, I end up finding myself enjoying it a lot more. But anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.